Thank you for joining us today. Before we begin, we invite you to explore our other channel, Paranormally, where we delve into intriguing questions such as whether psychics are genuine or merely scams. Consider this as you watch our latest video, 3 Murders Solved by Psychics, which may challenge your assumptions about these mysterious figures. A link to that video will be provided at the end of this one. Now, let's turn to a topic that often sparks curiosity: our sponsor, Magellan TV. If you're searching for a thoughtful gift or a meaningful stocking stuffer, especially for someone eager to expand their knowledge, a Magellan TV gift card could be perfect. This streaming service offers an exceptional selection of documentaries, including captivating true crime series. For instance, just last week I watched Mafia Queens, a series about women who ascend to positions of power within organized crime. Many of these women are either born into crime families or marry into them, and their interviews are conducted under police protection, allowing for candid insights. The series is fascinating, though I wish there were more episodes to explore. Whether for yourself or as a gift, Magellan TV currently offers an excellent deal, a 30-day free trial. To take advantage of this opportunity, simply visit their website. Currently listed on various platforms, I recommend exploring Magellan TV, as it offers a wide selection of engaging content that supports investigative and criminal research efforts. On the morning of August 1st, 2022, a driver traveling along a rural county road in Dadeville, Alabama, noticed something unusual: a distressed 12-year-old girl walking alone. The driver stopped to help, picked her up, and immediately called 911. The girl recounted a horrifying story. She had been living with her mother, 29-year-old Sandra Vasquez Ceja, her nearly 14-year-old brother, and her mother's 37-year-old boyfriend, Jose Polino Pasquale Reyes. The family had moved into a mobile home in Dadeville in February of that year. About a week before the girl was found, on July 24th at midnight, Pasquale Reyes had committed a brutal double murder. He beat her brother to death with his hands and feet and smothered her mother with a pillow. Afterwards, he dismembered their bodies and concealed the remains around the mobile home. To keep the girl subdued, he tied her to a bedpost and forced her to drink alcohol. Despite her restraints, she managed to chew through her braces, breaking them in the process, and finally freed herself. She then began walking along the road, which is how she was discovered. Police responded to the mobile home and uncovered the remains of Sandra Vasquez and her son, who was identified only as AOGV. Authorities launched a search for Pasquale Reyes, who was eventually located in Auburn, Alabama, and taken into custody. He was charged with 2 counts of murder, kidnapping, and 2 counts of abuse of a corpse. Currently, he remains in police custody, awaiting trial. The second case involves Paisley Joanne Schultz. In the summer of 2019, 4-year-old Paisley and her older sister were placed with a legal guardian in Cayuga Heights, New York, after being removed from their biological parents, Kimberly Cooper and Kirk Schultes, Jr. The reasons for this removal were never publicly disclosed. On July 13th of that year, Paisley was with her biological parents, but they failed to return her to her guardian, prompting the guardian to report her missing. Police believed Paisley was with Kimberly and Kirk Jr., who resided with Kirk Sr. in Saugerties, approximately 173 miles east of Cayuga Heights. When authorities visited the Saugerties home, the parents were absent. Kirk Jr. told detectives that Kimberly had fled with Paisley to Pennsylvania, but he provided no further details. Over the next 2 years, police repeatedly returned to Kirk Sr.'s residence, often with limited access. They were rarely allowed inside, and when they were, they could not enter bedrooms or the basement. Kirk Jr. and Kirk Sr. accused officers of harassment and wasting time, insisting they did not know Paisley's whereabouts. Despite their confidence that Paisley was at Kirk Sr.'s house, police lacked sufficient evidence to search without a warrant. In February of 2022, after more than 2 years and 7 months since Paisley was last seen, authorities received an anonymous tip suggesting she was hidden inside the house. Although the caller's identity and the specific information provided were not disclosed, the tip was credible enough to warrant a search warrant. Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, police executed the search, aiming to locate the missing girl. On Valentine's Day in 2022, police responded swiftly to a residence to ensure no one had left. Around 8 in the evening, they began searching the house, discovering a bedroom dedicated to Paisley, with her name scrawled on the wall, suggesting it had been regularly used. The room was cluttered with clothes, and the beds appeared to have been recently slept in. Curry Jr. explained that the room was prepared in case Paisley ever returned home. As officers continued their search, they didn't find Paisley inside, but one officer noticed something unusual about a staircase. Illuminating it with a flashlight, he spotted a crack and a blanket. Curious, he dismantled part of the staircase and uncovered a small pair of feet beneath a removed step. Further disassembly revealed a hidden crawl space filled with blankets and pillows, where 6-year-old Paisley and her mother, 33-year-old Kimberly Cooper, were concealed. Authorities believe that the mother and daughter had hidden in this cold, damp space whenever they visited the house. A medical examination confirmed Paisley was physically healthy. Kimberly Cooper, age 33, along with 32-year-old Kirk Schultes Jr. and 57-year-old Kirk Solta Sr., faced charges of custodial interference and child endangerment. Police noted that whatever Kimberly and Kirk Jr. had done to keep Paisley hidden would likely have been rectified in the future had they not been caught. Their plan was to maintain full custody of the girl by secretly hiding her away. In a separate case, on January 12, 1981, a dog wandering through a wooded area north of Houston, Texas, brought its owner a decomposing human arm. The owner immediately called the police, who scoured the vicinity and uncovered the remains of a man and a woman lying just a few feet apart. It was believed the woman might have been as young as 15, while the man was estimated to be between 18 and 25 years old. Both individuals had been murdered. The woman was strangled, while the man was bound, gagged, and beaten. They believed the killings occurred around New Year's Day, but their bodies showed advanced decomposition, leaving no identifiable facial features for sketches or facial reconstructions. As a result, authorities received no useful tips about the couple's identities. With no clues to their origins, investigators were at a complete loss regarding who might have killed them. They buried the remains in unmarked graves, puzzled by how a young couple could go missing without any reports or public notice, yet the case remained unresolved for decades. In 2011, after 30 years, the bodies were exhumed and subjected to genetic testing, but this effort failed to reveal their identities. Another decade passed before a breakthrough occurred in January 2022, when a genetics company in Fountain Valley, California, announced they had identified the victims through genetic genealogy. The couple was revealed to be Harold Dean Close Jr., aged 21, and his wife Tina Lee Klaus, aged 17. Dean often went by the nickname Dean or Junior. The couple had met in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, in 1978. Dean's sister was dating Tina's brother, and eventually the two couples married. Dean and Tina wed on June 25, 1979, at a local courthouse. The following summer they moved to Louisville, Texas, where Dean worked as a cabinet maker involved in construction, while Tina hoped to find employment herself. By late October 1980, Tina and Dean lost contact with their families. In late December of that year, or early January 1981, Tina's family received a strange phone call from a man claiming to have found their car in Los Angeles, intending to drive it back to Florida. The family was instructed to pick up the vehicle at midnight in the Daytona Speedway parking lot. When they contacted the police, officers reported the call, but Dean's family decided to go to the parking lot themselves. There, they found 3 women with long hair, dressed in white robes. Only one woman, calling herself Sister Susan, spoke and demanded a $1,000 donation from Dean's mother. When asked about Dean and Tina, Sister Susan claimed they had joined her group and no longer wished to communicate with their families. Over the following months, both families tried to report the couple as missing, but police dismissed their concerns, suggesting that Dean and Tina had voluntarily severed contact, a legal but tragic misunderstanding. The police pointed to the return of the car as evidence that the couple had chosen to disappear. For decades, the families remained in the dark about what truly happened to Dean and Tina. It was only in early 2022, 41 years after their disappearance, that the families learned the tragic fate of the young couple. A crucial question for investigators was what had happened to their baby, but authorities responded with confusion, asking, "What baby?" on January 24th. Nearly a year before the murders, in Adnat Tisija Divatsat Vosimdesat, Tia gave birth to a daughter named Holly Marie Klaus. Investigators were stunned to find no remains of a baby near the bodies of Tina and Dean, nor any records matching Holly's description as a Jane Doe. One theory suggested scavengers had scattered the infant's remains, which were never recovered. Another possibility was that Holly had been kidnapped by the same people responsible for Tina and Dean's deaths. As the investigation progressed, authorities learned that Holly had been left at a church in Arizona by 2 women dressed in white robes who were barefoot. These women claimed to belong to a nomadic religious group that practiced strict separation of men and women and adhered to vegetarianism, avoiding all other goods. They also stated they had left another baby at a laundromat after Holly was dropped off at the church. The church arranged for Holly's adoption, and she was eventually raised by a family. Decades later, investigators discovered that Holly was alive and living in Oklahoma. She was found on June 7, 2022, which marked Dean's 63rd birthday. Holly had no knowledge of her kidnapping or her biological parents' murders. Very little information about her life has been made public, but it is known that she married for 20 years, has 5 children, and 2 grandchildren. She has spoken with her biological family via Zoom, and they plan to meet in person. Currently, police are investigating Tina and Dean's murders, suspecting the religious group involved. However, they have not disclosed many details about what they know regarding this group. The authorities described the group as nomadic, traveling through the southwestern United States, including Texas, Arizona, and California. Ian's family mentioned that as a teenager he was intrigued by similar religious groups and even spent time with them. But he lost interest when he started dating Tina. The investigation into Tina and Dean's deaths remains ongoing. Thank you for watching today's story. Please check out our new channel, Paranormally Listed, via the link on the screen or in the description below. That's all for now. Thank you again for tuning in.